the rock. You physically couldn't hold me, I don't care if you pushing 40. You can never little bro me. Euro step like Ginobili, from young OG to the OG. From nosebleeds to floor seats. Circle stronger than Cuban links. My gold dance, your gold plated. You verse me, now that's the reach. We ready? Who ready?
All right, well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the One-on-One Sports Show. I'm Mr. Bennett, joined by my partner tonight is Trey Ferg. And yes, as you can see here, the 8B Club is taking over the show tonight. This is like the NWO invasion. So I know our brothers from Texas, obviously these are family men. These are hardworking men. The nice thing about myself and brother Trey, our kids are grown. So we don't have those responsibilities. But again, salute to the bold and the beautiful, beneficent, benevolent, bifocaled Ball Brotherhood of the BMD Network. Good to be here tonight. So we're going to be running the show tonight. How you doing, my brother? Good to see you.
Oh, what's up, brother Bennett, man? I'm okay, man. You know, I went to a funeral today.
Oh, sorry to hear.
Long time family, neighborhood friend. So I had to give me some rest after it, but I'm feeling good.
I heard that.
You know, got a chance to see a lot of old friends I haven't seen in over 20, 25 years.
Yeah, it's crazy how that is sometimes. It's like, you know, sometimes you don't, it's good to catch up with folks, but you don't want that to be necessarily the reason why you do it. But I have, you know,
Yes,
brotherhoods and, you know, clubs and associates I've had over the, 30 plus years. And unfortunately, you know, we always say, yeah, we're going to get together, going to have cookout, we're going to have whatever. But unfortunately, it's those times that, sometimes brings us together. And, but it's still good to catch up with guys and that you haven't seen for a while. And you can still feel that sense of brotherhood that you have with guys as well. So definitely, again, my condolences to you and to, those who lost, a friend, a brother, someone who's, close to you, and that, you guys will take some solace in knowing that person's in a better place. But again, good to be with you guys tonight. This is, so again, a lot of things that are going on in the world of sports that are taking place. So we're just going to hit these while we're at it. Let's start with the NBA playoffs. Brother Trey and myself, we may have to eat some crow tonight, brother, because I know the last show we were writing off the Nuggets.
yes, sir.
Down 0-2, lost the 2 home games, and we were both calling out gentleman's sweep. I know Charles Barkley on TNT. I know he was saying that it was a wrap.
Mhm.
And now you have the Nuggets won 3 straight. This is the first time all year that they've
Team was
lost
on the court.
the 3 straight, and so they're trying to find answers. I mean, I guess if they have some solace, that they'll be playing Game 6 at home. But the problem is again, you lost 2 home games there already. So for some reason they haven't been able to figure these guys out. Jokic showed up 40 point, I think 47 and 13, I think was their stats from the last game. So they've been pretty dominant in doing it. So I don't know how much of the game you got a chance to see, but what caught you by surprise in this turnaround by the Nuggets?
Well, shout out to the Nuggets. They are the defending champions. I don't think we really took that into consideration.
I said I wasn't going to say this, but Shawnee said, make sure I mention that they have championship medal. All right. I said I wasn't going to give him that shout out, but he wanted me to make sure that I brought that up tonight. They have championship DNA, I think is what he said specifically. So I'll give Shawnee the credit for that one.
Well, as you can see, they just was in the championship last year. So I'm surprised at Minnesota. I'm surprised because really, you can't really do nothing with Joker. Joker is going to be Joker. You've seen his full arsenal of movement, all his moves. Rudy Gobert seemed like he's standing in quicksand. He don't know which way to go. But I'm just surprised that they haven't made any adjustments at all.
Yeah. Everyone was clowning Gobert after he had his kid. Maybe he should have stayed home. I don't it's
I
like
mean, but
he hasn't added anything to the offense or to the defense because it's like he comes back and then Joker just goes off. So I don't know. They were better off when he was at home. I don't know. They lost some speed or
but
what, but
he's not he's not agile enough. If you watch him get a pass or rebound, he brings the ball down to his waist instead of going back up with it over his head. And for a big man, that's the worst thing you can do is bring the ball down because he never seems to get his pass off or his shot off once he
mhm.
brings it down. And I'm surprised that they haven't made adjustments through the coaching with Carl Anthony Towns. Why in the hell
Yeah.
he's still jacking up 3-point shots?
Right.
If you put him and Gobert down low, then that puts a lot more pressure on the inside because Eric Gordon, he can check you shooting jump shots all day.
Mhm.
He and jump shots are a low percentage shot. You see, you miss the first couple, get down low, get on each side of the block, and then y'all can control the boards because they have the top 6 man. He's still trying to shoot jumpers. And I will admit, Conley was out. Conley was out. He controls that offense. He controls the flow because with Edwards having to dribble to get into his shot, and you can watch it. Denver gets away with a lot more hand checking than anybody else. They got hands on you, pushing you out of position. And not everybody can do that to the Joker, but the Joker can do it. And if you like the last game, they just got pushed around. It just goes
Mhm.
to show that, Minnesota, I think they satisfied.
Yeah.
I think they were satisfied getting
Still
to
kind of
where
happy
they
to be
are.
here. Right.
And
Happy to
and
be
that,
here.
and that's it. Because they haven't made any changes, and it's gonna show in the next. Now, this is the first time not only did they lose 3 in a row, it's the first time any team all series lost on their home court.
Yeah. For
So
sure.
now it could be over next game, but hopefully,
How the
hopefully,
pendulum is swing within
uh,
1 week. Now we're
yeah, I misquoted that. It's the first time any team has won on their home court in the series, not lost, but it's the first time because
Gotcha.
Denver
Right.
won this past game on their home court. So now Minnesota must hold court. If not, it'll be over. Four in a row. It'll be one of them old Michael Jordan moves with New York. Lose the first 2 and win the next 4. So
Yeah, and certainly we were looking forward to seeing sort of the new guard. I mean, you have these young players that don't get a lot of shine because of the markets that they play in, and we were saying you got these new stars that that are coming up and finally getting their chance to shine. But yeah, definitely the champs said not so fast. And like I said, they definitely. They had me going because in those first couple of games, I mean, Denver looked slow, they looked sluggish, and just you just thought it was just youth and explosiveness that was just overpowering those guys. And Jokic looked slow in that series, but like I said, he's definitely picked it up, and certainly they're responding. So really, this is their lives here. This is Game 6 at home. We're going to see if Minnesota's got any what they got in the tank, and see if they can certainly turn this thing around. But definitely a surprise turnaround in this series. And if it gets to a Game 7, then certainly I would say it's 50-50 at that point. But just these series are all about momentum, and certainly they had it, lost it, and now it's that Denver is surging. So we'll just have to see how this all plays out in the end. But moving on to let's stay in the West. Looking at the Dallas OKC series, it definitely seemed like we're going 7 games with this series, sort of topsy-turvy back and forth. Again, you have another young team with OKC, and they certainly they responded because they were down 2-1, got a big win to get back into the series. And like I said, this is going 7 games. So initially, going into the series, we were thinking we weren't going to see too many 7-game series in the series. Now it's like we're on the verge of having, at least a couple of these going on. So, any thoughts on the OKC in Dallas? I would say this. I would say that certainly if OKC is going to, I think Game 5 is going to be critical for them. If Dallas gets up 3-2, then I think they may close them out. I don't think they can. Rebound from that because I think Kyrie. The problem with Kyrie was getting to the playoffs. for one reason or another, and a lot of times those reasons had nothing to do with basketball. So now he's in the playoffs. He's obviously a great player. He can be, he's certainly clutch. He can take over in a fourth quarter. He's a very dangerous player when he's in the right, mind frame, and he's in, critical moments. He doesn't shy away from those critical moments. So I would be very worried if Dallas wins this game 5 and they get up. I don't know if Kyrie will let him lose at this point. Now he's in the element of it. But what's your thoughts on that?
I mean, with that series, I'm not surprised that it's tied because you're talking the number 1 team in the West, and they won the number 1 team for a reason. And then Dallas, they're a small ball team. So it's great when those jumpers are going in. Man, it's the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah.
But when they start missing, it's a snowball effect, and you can see just in that series. I think Kyrie, he's proven that he's probably the best ball handler in the NBA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
as far as
sure.
dribble
his hands
moves,
ridiculous, yeah.
And the way he can get a shot off left hand, right hand. And I think he thrives better not being the man. He wants to be the man, but when he's not the man, he thrives better.
Right. I mean, go back to those Cleveland years with LeBron when he was the man. They didn't go anywhere. But certainly he played better when he had he could play Robin instead of Batman. So I certainly agree with that.
But in his mind, he's the man, and I can understand because he can dribble, he can get his shot off. Mm-hmm. But I think Dallas's height is playing a role. Because Luka, he's hobbled a bit. They really don't have too much size on the inside, and if they do got him over, they're not using him. And Tim Hardaway, they sort of pushed him to the side since they got PJ Washington.
Right.
I think the NBA shows to me the ability or inability of coaching. It's one thing around the regular season when you have great players and they can get the job done, but the playoffs a lot of times, and you can see it, is about the coaching, understanding the matchups, not getting caught up in the moment, and allowing, you rest your players and allow those bench players to support your team. But I don't think, you can see the inadequacies of the coaches, especially in this time of year, because Dallas and OKC, I can see that going 7. I can see that going 7 in the West,
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, obviously it's 2-2 now, so it has to go. Well, actually, they can close out at 6. I take that back. It certainly can go 6. But I think this game, I think whoever wins this game 5, I think wins the series. That I will say. So this going to be pivotal for both teams. Moving over to the East, I know the Celtics. I know they're playing now, and I think that didn't get the last score. But again, they're up 3-2. Donovan Mitchell missed Game 5 with an ankle injury, tonight. And he's missing tonight also. So so Celtics certainly they have a
3 of their key players are missing today.
So Celtics can certainly wrap this up, and so again, I think they're cruising to the to the Eastern Conference Finals. That being said, though, again, I'm still a little bit worried about them. Again, didn't like necessarily how the last game went without Mitchell. They had to, they got a little sloppy at the end there. They made the game a lot closer than they didn't, put the basically the foot on the neck to kind of close out the game. And so I don't know if they've been tested yet going into it into the playoffs. So again, it looks like the Knicks being up 3-2 on Indiana. Surely they have a chance to close out. Brunson has another 40-point game if it is the Celtics and the Knicks. I'm not saying that the Knicks can't go for the upset win. I still think the Celtics would be favored, but I'm just not liking just overall how they've been playing. And again, I don't know what the status of Porzingis is, and he's been missing in some action that fortunately they haven't needed him that much. But I'm not sold on the Celtics yet. It's like, okay, that's what I'm seeing as an NBA champion. I think certainly what I'm seeing now, certainly with the resurgent Denver, you still got Minnesota, and you got see if they can get past the Mavericks. the Celtics, I must admit they are worrying me a little bit. That I just don't know if they they have that championship kind of vibe to them yet. And they've just certainly beating a team with with the major players being injured. I can't see like I said, I think they're
I
going to be
mean,
tested in the next round.
Boston again. They have one of those teams that when they making shots, it elevates their game on offense and defense. It seems like with Boston, and when they're not making shots, then they tend to struggle, and they seem to always struggle with a big man. If the other team has a big man that plays big man basketball,
Hmm.
they seem to struggle with that. And to
Right.
me, it's going to come down to the others for Boston. You're going to get your top two that's going to get you 25 or more,
Yeah.
but it's going to come down to those other 3 to 4 players on the team to
Right.
make a
Right.
contribution. I
Yeah.
think sometimes,
Yeah.
Derek White.
I think Holiday is going to show up. I mean, he's always great on defense, and I think he's definitely going to show. But I agree with you. The bigs, I think they definitely, said one is sort of missing in action, and the other one he might be just showing his age a little bit. So I'm not sure where he, not sure because he didn't have a great game. Last Horford, he didn't have a great game last time either. So hopefully, those guys can get it together. But like I said, I'm just not feeling it with Boston. I think they can get taken out by certainly within the next round, especially if the Knicks close out Game 6 on I believe they play on Friday. I believe is their or is it tomorrow?
No, it might be tomorrow since it's
No, it is. Yeah, it's actually it's Friday. Yeah, Friday night. Friday night,
game
and I
5.
think yeah. So So again, definitely much better playoffs than I expected. Again, with the exception of the Celtics, in Cleveland due to the injuries. But definitely they're making this, certainly worth watching. I'll definitely be watching Game 6 of the Denver series. I'll be watching the Game 5 of the Dallas series. And again, I'm following the action at halftime. It's 58-52 Boston with Cleveland, and then of course the game on Friday with the Knicks in Indiana. And again, I'm in New Jersey, so everybody here is getting hyped about the Knicks. So they're definitely and Celtics, Knicks. Eastern Conference Finals. You're going all the way back to like 89, 90 when you had that kind of excitement. Patrick Ewing and Larry Bird, those guys are still around. So folks are excited about certainly seeing a rematch like that from the old days. And we'll just have to see what they're able to put together. But moving on, I know the
I'm sorry, hold
NFL.
on.
Yeah, go
Hold
ahead.
on.
Go ahead.
Let me comment on the Knicks. I think they playing great team ball.
Hmm.
I think those injuries to those, key players start catching up with them. Thibodeau, I don't know what type of strategy he's using to coach, but he's using the same philosophy that he used with the Bulls that ran Derrick Rose in the ground. He sticks to his core 5 or 6, 7, no more than 7. That shit great in the first 3 quarters. In the fourth quarter, teams just start running at you and it wears you down. Now I can see last game that he's changed it up a little bit. He started playing other guys a little bit more. But that's what you need in the playoffs. To me, these guys are professionals. It's not like they just at the end of the high school team making the roster. These guys are professional and some of the best athletes on their college team. It's just that you have to be able to rely on your bench in some of those games, especially if you have some points coming off the bench. And I think the the white guy that's playing the backup center that's playing, I think he's saving him because he's getting a lot of hustle plays. He's keeping the ball active and he's playing good movement on defense and offense. So it may go unnoticed in the stats, but he's getting those hustle plays. He's getting them second chance shots. It's just going to take a monster 3 or 4 games in a row by the others that can really propel New York into the finals. But anybody go up against Denver, Joker, his ass be lucky. He some of that shit he don't even be looking. That shit be all net. So it's a one of a kind type of player. So anybody's up against him. I can't hear you, brother Benny. You're on mute.
Sorry about that. So I know the NFL, like I said, they're due to release the schedule, but I think this is actually a televised event. So they're not just going to just release it, just like in the press. They're making it almost like the draft, and so we're just waiting for that to start, and just checking the wires now, just trying to get an idea of when. But it's kind of tight-lipped as far as the schedule, and so really I don't know if we'll be able to comment on it in the course of the show. If we do start seeing some releases, then we can certainly comment on that. And I know you're not a big team guy, but certainly there is some news in terms of there are some games that we already know of that will be on Netflix. So obviously they're getting into the streaming services. You already had Amazon Prime, now you had Netflix. They're certainly getting into the NFL having games. So they're going to have some of the games over the holidays. I know they're going to have looks like this Kansas City Chiefs at the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then they're going to have the Ravens at the Houston Texans on Christmas Day. So they're going to be having those games, and I think that that contract with Netflix, I think, goes through 2026. So they're definitely in, certainly for a few years with that, and it just shows just the new world we're in. I mean, football used to be free, or mostly free. I know ESPN and TNT had games. You needed cable to watch some of those games. But now, but playoff football was always on free TV for sure. But I think a lot, we saw this last year with some of the playoff games, again, being on Amazon Prime or some of those other streaming services. So this is just the new, the new reality that for premium for these games, they go into a premium content. And so I don't know, that'd be good. The long term, but so many people have a Netflix account or something anyway.
Yeah.
So I guess not having that much.
Listen, you mentioned it. Football used to be free. Pretty soon you got to have your cable and pay a subscription to watch any of the damn games.
The Super Bowl might be pay-per-view at some point. You never know.
It's just sucking the juice out of a turnip. I don't know, but I think there's they already mentioned that the Jets are playing somebody like on Monday night opening day. I forget who their opponent is, but I know the Jets are playing on Monday night's first game.
Mm-hmm.
Because I read it yesterday, but
they better, because you don't know how Aaron Rodgers is going to show. Yeah, I think. In fact, they play. I think they play the Vikings, and it's in the UK, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be October's. Well, and this is actually said 3 games will be played in London this season, beginning with Rodgers and New York Jets playing Minnesota and rookie J.J. McCarthy this October 6th at Tottenham Stadium. So it's not the first game, but they're playing it. So they're also expanding the games overseas. Jacksonville Jaguars.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be playing the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
October 13th, and then you have New England. The Jaguars actually playing. The Jaguars are playing the Patriots at Wembley Stadium October 20th. So October 13th, the 20th, and the 6th. So you got 3 straight games in October that are going to be played in the UK. This year, and I think that might be a first. So it's also part of the NFL expansion. They're trying to get that European market, and you'll see more games. The only thing is a lot of these games are like at ridiculous times, 10 p.m. at night, or whenever they have these games on. You're usually finding out about the game the next morning, unless you're a diehard. You just
All right,
recording in
9:30 a.m.
CLA.
on the Sunday. I
Yeah,
would like to know what the prices are for the tickets over in London. That's what I would
yeah,
like to know
yeah.
because American tickets it's $300 a head, and
Right.
just to be in the nosebleed. I would like to know what the ticket prices are over there. Are they just going over and playing and giving them a great show just for the potential of having a regular, having more games there? I don't know, but
Right, right.
it.
Well, what do you think? What do you think the potential is if, let's say, if they continue to increase games to the schedule, that they would actually expand to try to get an NFL team in the European market, or therefore in a, because I know there's also some games that they like to play in Mexico also. So if they're going to expand the league, to have a team in Mexico and a team in let's say London, for example, the likelihood of that, as this becomes more, as more teams get accustomed to the schedule, you only need basically, you get to 9 games. That could be a possibility in the future if again, it's all about following where the money is. So if they see there's money that can be made overseas, they're going to go for it.
I don't think they'll expand the teams over in those other countries. One, because you know when you're talking, let's just say, if you're talking Mexico, then I would like to see how they would put together a roster. Is it going to be mostly American players, Hispanic,
I think,
Mexican
for
players?
sure. Oh, yeah, it's not going to be. Yeah, it's not going to be a nationalized thing. It's not. Absolutely, it would
But
be an
then,
American. Yeah.
but then you got to look at, are players really willing to live in those vicinities, in those areas? You talking,
Yeah.
you sign a 5-year contract, yes, 6-7 months, maybe 8 months almost that you're in Mexico, traveling. You know what I'm saying? So it's just sort of weird. I don't know what's the water situation like in Mexico. It's a whole lot of variables that they really, I'm sure if they do, they thought about.
Yeah.
Like in London, the weather sort of wonky, a lot that rainy, cold. Every time I see London, everybody got a jacket on and it's cloudy, ain't hardly no sun.
Folks going to say though, oh, it's like playing in Seattle.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see. I think 17 games is enough
Yeah.
as far as
And actually, they're trying to expand that. I mean, I think Roger Goodell already put out there that ideally he wants to go to an 18-game schedule with only 2 preseason games. Yeah. So
to me, that's a waste. Listen, it's all about the money. They don't give a damn about the players.
Oh, for sure.
Even with the schedule they got now, it might take 2 or 3 games into the season for the team to start getting a good flow. They still playing preseason in the first 2 weeks.
But my only pushback on that would be, back in the day, like, you got that, like, training camp and all that was, again, to essentially get you in shape for football. You had 4 preseason games plus the camps leading up to it. Now these guys are like in shape all year round. I mean, like, you're expected to come into training camp essentially in shape.
Well,
so if you're basically in shape coming in, and why risk the injury? And again, I'm not capping for the owners in that regard. I'm all about what's best for the players. But I'm saying, but if you spent the whole year, you don't have an off season anymore, because you got to stay near your playing weight the whole time. You're still working out with somebody. Do you really need 4 preseason games to determine whether or not you're going to be on the roster or not?
I mean, you got to look at, Brother Bennett, the way. Okay, so what I always liked about the 4 preseason games is that, one, you got your rookies, you got your new signings, you got your free agents that's coming in, so, and these guys came in shape in football even before this modern era. Now it seems like they just push, and
plus they got the OTAs now.
They got See, you mean. And see, I don't know. Okay, so as far as the 4 game, well, now they have 3 preseason games.
Mm-hmm.
That's great because they already got, like you said, they got the OTAs. the rookie OTAs. So I think that and when you come into the NFL, you have enough practice. It's pretty much learning that damn playbook, because the playbook is probably as thick as encyclopedia, that big old Webster dictionary. So, it's more about learning the plays, because the players, they can do what they do. That's why they in the NFL.
Right.
But then I heard this before. Somebody put it like this: it's like two small cars colliding every 45 seconds.
Mhm.
Two small cars, and you're going to see a change in the game. The NFL is going to be more like a flag passing game. You fading away the running back, everything to the running back instead of a handoff. Now it's going to be a little pass, a little shuffle, just one to help quarterbacks out, which really doesn't. The running game helps it out. And late in the season, when the weather changes, that's where you're going to see a need for a running back. And, again, they're going to mix it up. They can't put too many more rules in football without changing the game. It's just unfortunate. To me, I think players were smarter back in the day. As you can say, players today may be a little bit stronger, but I'll take smarts over strength anyway, because that always prevails. It's just the difference in the game.
Yeah, for sure. And still waiting for the schedule. I'm on the NFL Network. I'm on the ESPN. Like I said, they're just drawing this out, so we may not know until after the show what the full schedule is. I was just curious about some of those opening games, especially with the Cowboys, and obviously for the Steelers, because I know they're playing in October. Christmas Day. But I just wanted to kind of get a good feel for what's out there. If in fact the Cowboys and Steelers are going to match up this year, then that'll be a trash talking show. When they if they hook up this year. It's been a while since we had.
When's the last time the Cowboys and Steelers played a regular season game?
It's been several years.
It's been a while.
Yeah, so it's been a while. I remember the one that burned me was the one where Ezekiel Elliott went off. That was, I think, 2015, 2016. But I haven't seen one in quite some time. So I'd definitely be looking forward to another Steelers Cowboys matchup. But I wanted to switch over into boxing. I know that this past weekend we had a lightweight bout with Vasily Lomachenko beating George Kambosos for the lightweight title in Australia. I tell you, I've never seen a guy who, after one upset victory, he beat. I'm having a brain freeze right now. He beat my man to win the lightweight championship from Australia. This Kambosos. He beat Teofimo Lopez, and he was able to, from that one unexpected victory. Apparently, Teofimo had an injury going into that fight, but he had a knockdown, and he lost the fight. He's been able to garner that into 3 major fights in Australia. Made some good money from that. He hasn't really looked good since that Teofimo fight. But he's been able to make the most of it, even though he's lost the majority of those fights since then. But he got another payoff. They packed out stadium in Australia, and got knocked out with a body shot. So Loma definitely is looking pretty good. He's going to be formidable. I would love to see him in a fight with Tank Davis. I know Tank Davis, he already put out there that he wanted him after. I know he has a fight with Frank Martin, I believe, on June 20th. And so I would love to see Tank and Lomachenko get it on for, in the unification bout. Maybe the winner of that fights Shakur Stevenson, who has a fight coming up. Actually, he's up in my way up in Newark. He's got coming up next month, a major fight also. So at 135, you have certainly some good fights to be made, and they should be relatively easy to make because I know that Lomachenko and Shakur, they fight on the same network. They're both with Top Rank. But Tank, I know he signed a deal with Amazon Prime, so it may take a little bit more time to pull that fight together. But it's not hopefully they'll be able to pull that off. And I don't know if you had a chance to see seeing that fight. I know it was on ESPN. We don't get too many of those ESPN cards or whatever, but definitely Loma, paced himself well. I mean, Gamboa says he's like a Rocky fighter. He comes at you, he comes out, he comes back. He doesn't have a lot of lateral movement, and he caught him with a body shot later. I'm gonna show that. Don't show that with you. I'm gonna show that with a little. Show that a little bit later when we get to talking about the main event with Tyson Fury. But again, Loma is good, and like I said, I hope they won't drag this out. They can get some some fights in the light, get some things cooking later in this year with some of the lightweight action that can come up. Next on the boxing note, I know that we're waiting till May 22nd, so we all know about the failed drug tests for Ryan Garcia. He requested to have the sample B tested. At current, basically there was 3 tests. The first 2 tests he failed for 2 banned substances. The last test they said that he still failed for Ostarine, but they said that the other one, the Nandrolone, that was inconclusive. So we're not still sure if he failed for that or not. The ultimate test will be on the 22nd. That second sample will come out. And if he's failed one, if not both of those, then he could be looking at some major sanction and penalty time, possible suspension. Again, you've had other fighters. Omar Khan, he got suspended even though he lost. He got a 2-year suspension for using the Ostarine. But you figure everything leading up to it, from the fact that he came in overweight for that fight with Devin Haney, and the fact that he, the first test had failed, and just his behavior, how erratic he was throughout the promotion. It wouldn't surprise me if they try to lay it on him, but at the same time, this is boxing. The reality is he is a very popular fighter. He definitely draws a lot of people to boxing, from his Instagram to his, just people following his antics. So I think that someone may put into the boards there, and this will be the New York Athletic Commission who is going to make that determination on whether or not, what they decide to do with him. And typically what happens is, if one sanctioning board suspends you, other state boards usually do in kind. So if New York suspends him, then Vegas or Nevada, they'll probably do something similar. Texas may do something similar. So again, I think a lot of people are hoping that the test comes up negative, because again, he is a lucrative, to be in the ring with Ryan Garcia is a lucrative payday for some guys. But at the same time, this is a hurt business, and people put a lot on the line when they get into the ring. And so if you're going to be taking the banned substances, and I'm not naive enough to say that other guys don't use it or take it, but if you get caught, you got to take the weight on that. So what do you think, Trey, as far as if it comes back positive, what do you think the punishment should be for Ryan Garcia? Should he fail this one?
I mean, since it's been a long, drawn-out saga, I think, it's just unfortunate, especially in this times where, like you mentioned, in football, players are expected to be in better shape, better condition, and to try to get an unfair advantage through a false premise. The penalty, I would expect it to be the same for me as anybody else if I took that route to try to get an advantage. So, I don't know what his penalty will be based off, like you said, he is a big card draw, so it could mean major implications for himself. A year, I'm pretty sure something like a year and a half. He's gonna miss a couple of fights, but it just puts a stain on his name. It's unfortunate, man. You know what you do as a boxer. You know how you train. You know how you prepare. So if you cheat with the technology that they use now, pulling hair follicles going back 8-9 months, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna get caught. So just train, eat healthy, prepare yourself, and let the cards fall where they may. You know what I'm saying? You can't just, I don't know, everybody's scheming. They scheming in sports, boxing now, everybody's scheming out here. So be careful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I heard that. All right. So moving on to the last, and then I think the schedule has been released, so we can certainly close out the show, talk about some football and some of the scheduling. But the big fight this weekend is Monument. If you're not crazy about the names, just be recognized, especially if you're a boxing fan, recognize the significance of it. We haven't had a unified world heavyweight champion since 1999. And certainly when you consider we're in a new belt era. It used to be the 3-belt era. You had the WBA, the WBC, and the IBF. In recent years, the WBO has certainly, and I remember when the WBO came out in the 90s, they've slowly but surely have built up. So now they're like, considered part of the era. So now to be considered the undisputed champion of any weight class, you need the WBO championship as well. And so this fight is going to be for all 4 belts. All right. It's going to be this weekend in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And the fight's going to be on DAZN and ESPN Plus. It's only $70, which is actually pretty reasonable. I paid more for fights. I remember years ago when Pacquiao fought Mayweather, I paid over $100 for that pay-per-view, and it was a garbage fight. So this Riyadh card, they got a ton of fighters on it. Last time I bought a card from Saudi Arabia, it was literally all day. It was like a 7-hour card. So you definitely go get your money's worth if should you decide to get the pay-per-view for the fight. And again, the reason why they can do this, again, the Saudis really, they just want boxing. They have the money. They can pay the fighters to get the fights that they want to see. And, they're not starving for money. So they can afford to, give you these sort of pay-per-view fights at a reasonable cost. You get a couple guys over. I did that last time. You get a couple guys over, order some subs or whatever, some pizza, and chill out for the day and split the tab. So, you're not really coming out of pocket. But it is a long card, though. The only thing I don't like about fights staged in Saudi Arabia is that it's like that the people in attendance are not necessarily your average boxing fan. So you got to like all you see, especially in the first seats, is a bunch of sheiks and well-to-do type of persons, and they might be there, just to be there because it's an event, but they're not that raucous boxing crowd that you see like at Madison Square Garden or at AT&T Arena in Dallas or the T-Mobile Arena in Vegas. You're not going to see that kind of excitement in the crowd because the crowd is relatively small and they keep it for a relatively elite amount of people. You see all these celebrities and all these people that they like to fly out to the event, but it just kind of lacks some of that buzz that you would like to see from a packed house where you can see that kind of action. So that's the only thing I'll be missing. But for $70, I'll definitely be watching. I may not be watching the entire card. I'll definitely wait until till it's there. But again, this is a major for the championship. Also, this is the first time in a while you really have to go back to Ali and Frazier, where you've had 2 undefeated heavyweight champions. That mega fight in 71 with Ali and Frazier, both of them were undefeated and both had a claim to the title. You're kind of having something similar here as well. So, but the thing that really got me intrigued about the fight was, and Dave, if you're in the back, you show that picture now, if you can share and pull it up. But Fury, now again, keep in mind also, this fight should have happened a couple of months ago, and Fury got a cut in sparring, and initially, like a lot of people, they weren't sure if in fact he was if it was a real injury or not, because Fury has been known to delay things, to pull out of fights. If he's not in a good headspace, he's been known to do certain things. And, so for a lot of people, they weren't sure whether or not, did he just not fake the cut, but did he kind of cut himself in order to just to delay the inevitable of fighting Usyk? So, so there was a lot of doubt about whether or not he would be ready to fight there. But I want to show this picture. If David, if you're in the back, you can pull that picture up now. That the man looks like he's in shape. I've never seen Tyson Fury this ripped up. Right there, he looks like, definitely he might be coming into the fight under 270. He's been as heavy as 300 pounds going into the ring. He's 6'8", 6'9", so he's a big guy. But he seems like he's been putting the work in to get himself into condition. And I'm thinking the calculus here is because, Usyk is a very skilled boxer, and he's a smaller guy. He's a former undisputed cruiserweight champion who's won at the heavyweight level. Again, undefeated. He has a very sort of frustrating types of boxing style. He relies on a lot of movement, counter punching. And so I'm thinking Fury might be going this route in order to be live so he can stay up with him. Because I don't think he's going to be able to bully Usyk, or if he comes at Usyk can counter him. And I think he wants to have be light on his feet this time, so he can stay with them as they're going. But when I saw this picture, I was like, okay, I think he's definitely taking this seriously, and barring anything this week that may delay the fight, I think certainly this could be a very competitive contest. I'm still deciding who I like in this, but based on what try to know how much of this you've been following. Any thoughts on the fight this week? Any thoughts on this picture in terms of what you're seeing from this here? What's your thought on who could take this fight? I'm kind of with this kind of shape. I'm initially going in. I probably would have took Usyk, but now that I'm seeing this kind of shape, I may have to go back to Fury if he's taking it this seriously. I think when he's serious, there's very few guys, if anybody, who can beat him. So what do you think about the potential for this fight this weekend?
I mean, if Tyson Fury if this is him as of this morning,
this week, it was night, this was this past week. He just posted this past week.
He's in great shape. I don't know how much that'll help or hurt him. He seems to have that funny looking body anyway to me.
Mm.
And he's won when he wasn't in his best condition, and he's won when he was in his tip top shape. So he is a little older now.
Yeah.
It's hard to say, man. He has a long, awkward reach. It's sort of his style is awkward. It's non-traditional style.
Right.
He can take a punch. That's been his benefit, to be able to take a punch. And it's gonna come. I don't know, man. It's like with Tyson Fury, most boxers that I've seen him face don't attack his body for some reason.
Mm.
He's tall.
Yeah.
He's giving you body. Attack the body.
Right.
And then break him down to your size. But when he's standing back with that long reach, it's hard to get inside of that. And I think as he uses that, he understands that. And he's never giving you a clean shot. He's always moving his head and bobbing, and he got a little antics when he fight. You know what I'm saying? They can get inside your head.
Right.
But I think it's going to be a hell of a fight. Who I think going to win, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Like I said, come back to me on the weigh-in. Let's get to the weigh-in first. Since like I said, this fight's already been delayed. Not just from the past cut, but just getting it on, because you heard for so many times, the fight is signed. Then you came back a couple weeks later, the fight is not signed. So again, they were playing with you a lot in terms of whether or not they were really serious about doing this. But again, I got to give the edge to Fury for a couple reasons. One, I think he got his wake-up call with the Ngannou fight. You talking about a guy who's never fought boxing-wise. He's MMA is not boxing. I tell those guys that all the time. An MMA strike is not the same as a boxing strike. It's a totally different animal. And he got in there. He got a knockdown in the third round, but I don't think he took that fight very seriously. He thought it maybe was like more of an exhibition. So he got his wake-up call from that to train seriously. And I just think that Usyk relies too much on you coming to him. He's, like I said, he's a natural counterpuncher, and he tries to capitalize on your mistakes. He's not a guy who's looking to come in and attack you. per se. So if Fury just boxes, just uses his jab, uses his height and reach advantage, I think it could be a pretty easy night for him. Or he's going to have to make Fury try to do something desperate and try to come in. But if he tries to box with Fury, especially on the inside, he's not known as a good body puncher. He's not good at fighting on the inside. If he comes to Usyk, now you're giving Usyk an opportunity to counter and do what he does. So I think as long as he stays on the outside and if he's in this kind of shape, he's just looking just to move and be light on his feet in this fight, I think he can win fairly convincingly. But if he tries to make it a slugfest, then again you're giving opportunities to Usyk. And again, Usyk is a winner. Usyk is the type of fighter who he makes you fight bad or look bad. It's just the way he moves, his footwork is such where you can't really get set or land a good shot on him. So he lulls you into like a bad fight, and then he just sort of picks you off. That's always been his MO. I never went in and saw an Usyk fight and says, "Wow, he was so dominant in that fight." But he just makes you look a little worse than what you normally are. So so that's what I'm trying to debating on. What type of fight will Fury bring to Usyk? If he brings the fight to him, then we can see some action. If he decides to box for 12 rounds, then it could be a relatively easy night for him. And Usyk is going to have to do some desperate things. He can get caught trying to come in with an uppercut, trying to come in to try to change the course of the fight, especially if it goes past 6. So so that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm leaning Tyson Fury. And just me taking a look at this picture early in the week just certainly got me really thinking about it in the fight. But definitely looking forward to it. So again, ESPN and DAZN this weekend in Riyadh. I think it's Saturday. And again, looking at the fight card, they got about 8 or 9 fights on that fight card, and it'll probably take the whole day to get through that fight card. So unless you're a diehard fan who wants to sit for the whole time like I did last time, I know the main event may not start until like later in the afternoon, so that might be something worth checking out. But the NFL schedules have been released, and I'm pretty excited, not only for my team but also for this channel and the possible smoke show that we can have coming up, because we're taking on all of the guys who generally follow us is on the schedule this year. So I'll just start with the Steelers. Interesting, we play the Falcons week 1. And we're at Atlanta. So again, our new offensive coordinator is Arthur Smith, who was the coach of the Falcons. And so again, so they're trying to build up that drama right away. You got Kirk Cousins, who will be appearing there. The drama with them drafting Penix, the QB there. So you're getting a lot of stories leading into that. We'll see how the training camps go. It should be Kirk Cousins' job to keep, and Penix is considered for the future. But certainly looking forward to the new offense that the Steelers will be putting together. They invested in their running game big time with their draft picks. They get 3 of their picks were offensive linemen, and so they're definitely looking to establish the run. And so we'll see how that goes with against Atlanta. With I think Raheem Morris is the new coach now, so we'll see what that does. But then the next week,
Bennett,
yeah,
did the Steelers extend Najee Harris?
They did not. That was a very surprising move. But to your point that you said earlier about the running back situation, here it is. You spent, like I said, 3 of your 6 draft picks, drafted a line. The running game last year was top 5 in the second half of the season. And you had Najee Harris and Warren basically running guys over. And so it's like, and that was with that line. So, okay, so going into it, the expectation was they'll be even better. You might have a 1,500-yard plus runner, but now you put this little wrinkle in. They could be working on a contract extension. You never know how this is going to work. I'll be patient, but I must say it definitely took me by surprise when they didn't take his 5th-year option. So this might be a show me year for him. But again, since he's been in the league, he's gained 1,000 yards every year. Now again, that has less relevance nowadays since they've gone to the 17 game schedule. So it's 1,000 over 17, not 16. So certainly his production could be better. But between him and Warren, and also depending on if either Russell Wilson is the starter or a man from Chicago, Justin Fields, they can have a dominant running game this year. They can have over 2,500 yards on the ground, or from all those sources this year. They can rival the Ravens. So I just hope that they don't do anything to mess up the chemistry there again. But he's a Steeler. He's one of the team leaders. On the team. But we'll have to see. And I just read, and also Cam Hayward, now he's sitting at OTAs because they're talking about trying to redo his contract. He said he wants to play another 3 years. He'd like to be with the Steelers. But, we'll have to see. He's a $16 million cap hit this year. And so they want to see, do they want to play a guy who's 35 and has had injuries? Do they want to continue to play him, even though on a personal level he's the current Walter Payton Man of the Year? And, you can take it down. I appreciate it. So, he's done a lot of things that certainly you would like him to retire as a Steeler. But business is business. And, again, we got a new sheriff in town with Omar Khan. And, so we'll have to see whether or not he wants to keep that, that chemistry with the team. He's one of the team captains there, so we'll see. But the next week, after
Mr. Bennett, we are not going to go over the Pittsburgh Steelers whole schedule.
I'm not going. I'm just calling. These are the highlights. These are the highlights. I'm just highlighting because I'm going after some folks here. All right, so the next week we play Denver. All right. So again, we all know about what happened with Russell Wilson. So again, they putting that drama right on Front Street. So it'll be Russell Wilson. If he's the starter, let's see if he gets his revenge against the team that disrespected him on the way out. So and we picked them up for $1 million, $1.6 million. So we'll see. But that's they're building drama to this.
Week 2, they play the Broncos week 2.
Week 2.
Wow, so they get right up here.
That's what I'm saying. They're putting it out there. Now, for our partners who are not here tonight, by the way, so no shade to you guys, but we play the Cowboys week 5. Ooh. Okay, so in Pittsburgh. So we'll be sure to chop it up with those fellas when they get back on. So week 5 is Dallas. Shout out to my boy Tommy B. Week 6 we play the Raiders. Okay, at Vegas. So Tommy B, if you're out there, salute to you wherever you're at. We'll definitely, we'll have a chance to clown each other that week. Be looking for that. The last one I want to call out is week 15. We play the Eagles. So I don't know, my man Dante, what's my man? My man from Philly. He's always on the show with us.
Oh my God,
well, you know who you are. My Philly fan, he's usually on the on these panels. So again, when we play Philly week 15 at Philadelphia, we may chop it up or whatever. Heck, I may even try to meet up with you then. But we'll see what happens. But that's all I want to say about the Steelers. Now we got speaking of the Cowboys, their opening game is going to be against Cleveland. So they're at Cleveland. Then New Orleans comes in week 3. They play the Ravens. I'm trying to think of any more highlights here. They have a pretty tough schedule. Yeah, they're playing the AFC North teams and also the AFC South seems to be on the schedule. So this is a pretty competitive schedule. I don't know how the Commanders are going to be, but really the only gimme game I would give them on this schedule really is they play the Carolina Panthers week 15, but they have the Giants. Well, and I give them the Giants also, but they have again the They got the Lions on the schedule. They got San Francisco on the schedule. Got the Eagles, of course. We'll see if the Eagles they can rebound this year. So that's not one of the easier schedules in the league. But I think a lot of it's going to depend on how the Commanders are going to look. They also got the Buccaneers on the schedule as well. And I think then they sign their QB to a contract extension. Baker Mayfield. Didn't he get a contract extension?
I think it was a 4-year deal, $100 million.
Yeah. So we'll see how they play there, but this is not a gimme schedule. I'll give you the Giants, especially since they didn't draft another quarterback. So I'll give you the Giants, and I'll give you Carolina. Outside of that, all these games, and maybe Washington, but maybe Washington. But we'll have to see, how that situation, because they're rebuilding too. They got a new coach, new quarterback, so they're kind of starting over. But we'll have to see how it goes. So a lot to talk about. Certainly during the week, certainly during the season as that comes up. Again, we still have off-season trades to take place, so anything can happen at any time. And then of course we'll have the preseason and whatnot. So we got the whole summer to talk about the football. But again, right now, just to kind of summarize again, so we got the NBA. Playoffs going on. I know Boston was winning at one point. Let me just double check the score if I still have it up. I lost the score, but I know they were winning. They were up 6 at they were up 6 at halftime, and it looks like now, 6:44 left in the fourth, 101-87. So they look like they're about to close the Cavaliers out. But again, Cavaliers have been drastically compromised, so they're basically playing a B team right now. So again, I don't know if that kind of series will get them ready for the next round. But again, Jalen Brunson and the Knicks, certainly those guys are hungry and they're bringing a lot of excitement to the area. But again, any other thoughts on your end in terms of upcoming sporting events? Anything on your mind as far as anything upcoming?
I mean, as far as football, I think we'll see more parity as far as the season advances. I don't really picture any team 13-3, 14-3, 13-4. I think it's gonna be a lot more parity with teams. The teams that got the players that they needed, I think they'll be okay. I think Kansas City is going to come back stronger. Everything. I think I'm excited to see Baltimore because you've led the league in rushing a few years straight now. Now you got one of the best rushers in the game in Derrick Henry. I believe he still has another 3 or 4 good years at most.
Right.
But just to see him and Lamar coming out of the same backfield, that's hard to prepare for any team. I'm not sure about their receiver tandem, but I think with the tight end coming back, and if they can find 2 good wide outs that are fast, that can catch, I think they'll be all right.
Right. Now, I know their wide receiving room kind of went down quickly. I know the playoff game with I think the rookie wide receiver who dropped the pass, got the penalty. I know he's been having some issues as of late. So it looked like that wide receiving core. There's no Odell's not there, so they're definitely going to have to rebuild that wide receiver core in Baltimore. So they have to rebuild that. But I think that game hurt that receiver. So we'll have to see if he can rebound or what's going to be his future. But that didn't anyway. He's a talented guy. He's very fast, but that went south very quickly. So they're definitely in rebuilding mode. But
I want to see Green Bay. I want to see if how Green Bay's quarterback expands.
Yeah, Jordan Love.
Yes,
I thought
on the season he had. So it's going to be real interesting to see how Green Bay fares. Everybody else, even I want to see the Texans, how they respond after the successes they have. They still young. I think they picked up some key pieces and players that they needed.
Right.
So just to see how they can build off of that. And, it's going to be interesting, man. I think, as we get to about mid-season, you'll see the teams that are the top tier, you'll see them separate themselves. And as you get into the fall, late fall time for the schedule, I think, the running game is going to be imperative. Teams that can run the ball will have success. Those other teams, it's only you can pick 5 or 6 top tier quarterbacks. Like I said, it looks good when the sun is out and it's a nice day.
Yeah,
the passing game is great.
Yeah,
but when it starts getting cold and them fingers start getting a little tight, who can run the ball? Who can run the ball in bad weather? So, I'm excited to see it. I hope they don't just banish it down football. But I think it's going to be more like instead of, you having set backfield, it's going to be like a hybrid. You're going to start out maybe in the backfield, then go in motion, set up, and coming out of that. I think they're going to be more of that. It's not, these rules are not made up by football players. These rules are made up by guys in little tight-ass suits sitting over drinking wine and eating cheese and crackers, talking about, I wonder if I could change the game, which hopefully they don't do it too much because football is football. I wish every kid 8 and over should be mandated to go down and line up on that line and play some football. Because all these little sensitive, I don't know, everybody needs a little mud in their life, especially a boy. Get your knees dirty, get your head knocked around a little bit, knock that slowness out of you, get some toughness in you, helps you overcome a lot of adversity.
That's true.
Helps you not give up. Even any type of contact sport to me is good for a little boy. It's always good. So hopefully we'll see, man. I'm all for it, man. So
I hear. And shout out to my man Andre Terry. Again, you have to forgive me. I am old. I'm over 50 plus, man. So,
yeah, we are.
So we I'll be getting names out and then. But yes, week 15. I'll be looking forward to chopping it up with you. Now the question for you is, will the Eagles rebound? I mean, y'all went down like the Titanic last year. So I don't know if you guys going to recover. You don't have Jason Kelsey retired. So you guys are in somewhat of rebuilding mode also. But I don't know what went on with you guys. So are you guys going to be able to rebound and take this division, or should I just crown the Cowboys the division winners now, so we don't have to drag it out so long? So what are you guys going to do is really going to be the question this year. Hopefully by the time we play, it'll still be worthy of a conversation that we'll both be competing for first place in our respective divisions. So, definitely looking forward to that. But appreciate you coming on. Appreciate the chat for being here tonight to support us. Again, you can see our Cash App scrolling at the bottom of the screen. So, again, we appreciate anything you give us in our Cash Apps. And also, but more importantly, appreciate any support that you give to the BMU Network. Again, so giving a super chat or contributing to the BMU Network. So, we have content on basically 7 days a week. There's a show on the BMU Network covering a variety of different subjects. So, again, we're going to have, obviously the shows tomorrow night. I know Black Man and Lost in Translation, they've been lighting it up as of late. We got the Friday Barbershop. We got shows on, Alexis from Texas on Saturday, Miss Jenny on Saturdays, and then myself in Grooming and Reviews. We have the Gray Area on Sunday nights. And Sunday night is actually our call-in show. So if you want to call in on Sunday and give us your thoughts on anything we've been talking about over the last couple of weeks. I know some people already coming in with to give us smoke, so we already know that conversation is coming. So if you guys want to log on and just chat it up with us, we'll be there this Sunday. Be a live call-in show on the Gray Area Sunday night at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. But if there's not anything else, again, looking forward to again a great hopefully the fight this weekend will be a great card. Again, still trying to decide on who the winner is going to be, but definitely looking forward to the first time since 1999 a unified, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, and we'll see. Hopefully, where it goes from there. But for all you other guys, I'll say, Trey has always talked about the kids, getting guys out there. Let me talk to the older guys. That you guys need to take care of yourself also. Myself and Trey, we're in our mid-50s. And so we understand that we need to, it gets tougher from here. But so definitely take care of yourself, exercise, train with weight training, but the difference is you train smart, not stupid. Again, don't be doing those explosive lifts, trying to lift the 500 pounds off the floor. Don't kill your back trying to do that. But definitely, do some strength training. It's good for your bones or whatnot. Definitely make sure you're careful what you eat and get those exams. Get the stuff that you don't want to do. Go get your prostate, get the prostate checked. If you're over 50 plus, get your colonoscopies. Get all that stuff that you need to be doing at your age. Don't be a hero at 50 plus. Make sure you get all that stuff now so you can enjoy some of your later life later. But definitely stay active and stay fit. And there's a lot of different ways you can do it. My cardio is mowing my lawn. I got about about 3/4 of an acre lawn. It takes me about an hour to do. I get out there, especially in the summertime. I put my headband on. I burn about 800 calories just doing that. So doing that a couple times a week. So again, there's a lot of different things you can do for your health. But again, if you're going to be in the gym, don't neglect strength training. Stay as strong as you can for as long as you can. And, so definitely I encourage all men 50 plus to definitely, make your health one of your top priorities in life. But with that, certainly enjoyed being with you guys tonight. I'm Mr. Bennett. He is Brother Trey Ferg. Any last closing thoughts before we get on out of here?
Man, look, everybody, it's summertime. Drink plenty of damn water. Drink water. It helps your body recoup itself. Drink water, water, water. I didn't say juice. I didn't say Gatorade. Drink some damn H2O and eat your damn vegetables. Eat vegetables. You have to prepare your body. We are getting older and our bodies are getting weaker. So we have to do what we can naturally. You don't have to take any, take your vitamins, some multivitamins. Do that. Check your cholesterol, check your iron, check your calcium, check everything. Your vitamin D, check all those things because we need you here. Your family needs you here. And if you're not in shape, get your ass in shape. Get up off the damn couch. Start exercising. The ladies are going to be out with all their body. You got to be outside with your body too. So start preparing now. Get ahead of the summer rush. And until then, just be safe, man.
All right. You heard it from the coach. And yes, Andre, I see you. Yes. Go to the doctor. Yes. Take care of yourself, bro. We need you around for the longest time. So certainly appreciate your transparency, but I'm gonna hold you to it. I'm gonna make sure that you make that doctor's appointment that you're supposed to. So, but hope everyone stays well. Hope everyone stays safe and healthy. Until next week, hopefully we'll have the full crew in. The boys from Texas, hopefully those guys will be back on. But again, we understand. We've been there. We know what family life is like and what you got to do in that regard. You got to take care of that. And so we totally understand and support our brothers. We love them, and looking forward to getting the gang back together next week so we can talk, more about what's going on in the world of sports. So until next time, you guys take care. We'll see you next time. Where's our man David? You gonna close us out, bro? Don't tell me you're sleeping again.
Hey.
Black David, are you there? Black David?
Get ready.
Black David? Oh man.
You out, sucker.
All right. I'm just gonna sign off. But again, I'll see you. I'll probably see you Friday in the barbershop around that time. So you have a good one, sir.
You too, sir.
All right. Peace.